2, 1. Hey CrossFit Fenton family, we wanted to take just a brief minute and talk about Whoop. You may have seen some of us coaches and athletes around the gym wearing these things on our wrists and doing a lot of tapping with them and talking about some data, and it may have stirred up some questions about what are we doing with them, what are we looking at, how are we using them and playing around with them, and what's some of the information that we're pulling from that. So Alan and I are taking just a minute and we're just going to kind of recap what the Whoop is, why we're using it, and why it might be beneficial for you to look at if you're considering it at all. Just answer some questions that you guys might be thinking about right now. So that's what's coming at you right now. I have Alan here because in my opinion, he's like the world's foremost expert in this stuff. And he was the one that got the Whoop first and got a lot of us here started wearing it, and kind of helping to kind of compile, look at a lot of the literature behind what the Whoop is as a unit and how it's helping us perform. So give them an overview, Alan, of what Whoop is.
Sure. So the Whoop is a wrist wearable device, not a watch. So if you look at it, I've got a different band than Mitch, but that's why the only reason why ours look different. It's just this sensor here that's reading a couple different things about your body. It's looking at your body temperature, your acceleration, your heart rate, and something called heart rate variability, which is a difference in the time between beats of your heart rate. So a common mistake that we think about heart rate is that it comes on time. There's actually a time difference between that beat, and that's called heart rate variability. And we care about that because it tracks very well with things like overtraining, things like being sick, poor sleep, depression, pain, a whole bunch of different factors. So being able to track heart rate variability with this wearable device is very, very helpful. So the Whoop is always on, it's always reading stuff about your body, and it's putting it on an app on your phone, but there's no actual clock face or anything to interact with on your wrist. It just sits there and it's always gathering data, and then you see the data, the actionable stuff on the app on your phone. And we've got some of the data here pulled up behind us on the TV. So it shows you things about what it calls strain, so kind of the burden that your body and heart takes on throughout the day, looking at your resting heart rate and also your heart rate throughout the day as you do activities at work with your kids, here in the gym. How high does your heart rate get? How high is your average heart rate throughout the day? Are you very, very busy during the day? Are you very, very inactive during the day, except when you're here in the gym? That sort of thing. It's giving you another factor called recovery, which is looking at that heart rate variability. It's also looking at changes in your resting heart rate throughout the day, and then sleep. And it's giving you this recovery factor, saying how well are you able to take on today based on sleep yesterday, strain yesterday, recovery yesterday. And then finally, it's looking very, very deep into your sleep, things like deep sleep, REM sleep, and light sleep. So it's taking all that into factor and giving you a sleep score as well. So you get a strain score, a recovery score, and a sleep score. And it's putting all that in the app. And without digging too much into the science behind it, what we like about Whoop is that it basically tells you what to do. It tells you, take it easy today. You can go pretty hard today. Get more sleep, that sort of stuff. It's very, very actionable on your end when you look at it on the app.
Yeah, and so what it's helped us do is a couple of things. One is get out of our own heads a little bit in far of training, right? So you guys understand when you come in and maybe it's a Wednesday and you're just not feeling like you got all the energy. Maybe you've had a stressful week at work. You haven't been able to get to bed on time like you wanted to. And Wednesday's workout shows up, and maybe it's something that on a normal day you'd be really excited about. And for whatever reason on this particular Wednesday, you're having a hard time finding the energy. And everyone has that talk with themselves, right? It's all mental. I've got to push through. I've got to push hard today. No day is easy. Got to go hard. No pain, no gain. And things like the Whoop help us to kind of use some objective data to say, listen, you are in the red light, area right now. You haven't slept super well. Your heart rate variability, this factor that Alan was talking about, is lower than what it should be. It's lower than your average. Your resting heart rate is up. It's telling us signals about you're stressed and you're not recovered as well. And those might be the days where rather than saying, push through, doesn't matter, no pain, no gain, that instead I come in, maybe I do the workout, but I do it at a much more moderate pace. Maybe my goals for that workout are different than just post the absolute best time in the leaderboard, but instead trying to use that as more of an active recovery type workout to get my numbers back in the green and get myself in a state where I can then perform hard the next day. So it's guiding our fitness more so than using it to, say, limit our workouts or to try to tailor our workouts to a certain zone or range. It's certainly not what we use it for. We're trying to monitor everything that makes up humans, everything that goes into your day-to-day basis, work, stress, life, sleep, performance, all of that, to then carry over into the gym and say, how hard can I go today? How hard should I push? And then also, for me primarily, and everyone else that we've talked to, helps us prioritize our sleep pattern, right? So what's Jeff always say? That data doesn't drive behavior,
Yep.
right? Data doesn't drive behavior, but it can help you make a better decision on some of your daily practices. And what we find is that things like the sleep score and what we know about our sleep habit and our sleep hygiene and what that carries over to in our heart rate variability, resting heart rate for the next day, we start prioritizing things like sleep a lot more. And we cannot run the data that says you have to sleep more. Simply put, you have to get more sleep at night, right? And so sometimes where it's like I can go on 4 hours of sleep, I can function on 4.5, 5 hours of sleep. Maybe you're functioning, but you're certainly not thriving. And that's a big difference. And we want our athletes to feel like they can come in and perform at a very high level. And to do so means that you've got to prioritize things like sleep, right? So it's the data that's telling me you are not recovered well, your sleep performance is very, very poor, helps me make a better decision when 9:30 at night comes around. And rather than starting a new TV show or a movie, instead turn the lights out, maybe go read a book in bed for 20 to 30 minutes and fall asleep before 10 o'clock, rather than pushing it off until 11, 11:30 and then trying to fall asleep before midnight. So data in this sort helps us to kind of make better decisions about our overall behaviors, healthier behaviors that are going to carry over to you feeling better and then ultimately performing better in the gym on more days. That's the one thing that I've really liked having it for, is because sometimes I can get in my own head a lot about, like, doesn't matter 3, 4, 5 hours of sleep, we can go, we can function, we can push, and then we're upset when we don't PR, we're upset when we don't post the best time or the best weight or whatever it may be, right? So I just wanted to clarify a couple things. On why we're wearing the Whoop. It is certainly not to try to keep us in certain ranges during our workouts. It's just collecting data over daily cardiac strain all day long. I collect a lot of strain points just coaching, but you guys have seen me coach and you know that I'm pretty animated while I'm out there. So I catch quite a few strain points just by coaching class. And you can see up there, that's my daily strain for the day. That blue line, that's going to continue to kind of develop if I work out today. If I coach more classes, that blue line will continue to grow, right? It's on a score of 0 to 21, right? 21 is kind of like this number that no one ever reaches, but you can get close to it. So the more strenuous your day is, the higher that number will be, obviously, right? So that will continue to go up as I collect more strain throughout the day, but it's not a metric of my workout in real time. Now, it will give you pretty comprehensive heart rate data if you're interested in that. You can get a full breakdown of what your heart rate did at various moments of your workout, what it spiked to, what's your heart rate max, and if you wanted to base certain training modalities off of the Whoop, you certainly can. That's not how we're utilizing it. It's more or less just to guide our recovery and our performance, right? The other cool thing, guys, is that we do have this CrossFit Fenton group going with a number of athletes who have picked up the Whoop so far on their own. And so all we're doing is basically just adding folks into this page. This allows us to basically hold each other accountable to better behaviors, right? Healthier behaviors of managing your recovery, managing your sleep, and performing well in the gym. And then from a coaching staff, this helps me out a bunch because I can see, if I click on recovery, it will show me who's in the green, who's in the yellow, and who's in the red, right? Not that that's going to stop you from coming into the gym by any means, but I can see that if someone's had a couple red days, 2, 3 in a row, I know that they're not recovering well. I know that they're down in the dumps. That means that when you come in the gym, I'm saying, hey, let's approach this as an active recovery day. Let's not set the expectation that you're going to go hard. Let's not push you to your breaking point today. We've got to approach this workout slightly different. So it's really useful information for me as a coach to be able to better guide you as an athlete through your fitness journey, right? It's not about any individual session. It's about amassing more sessions over time that you can train and perform well for. So if we got to back one off for today because that means that we can go harder tomorrow, that's a good win and we'll do that, right? Any points that you wanted to bring up?
No, I just think this is really great data to have, especially like Mitch said with sleep. We can see who's not sleeping well. We know that sleep combined with recovery, we know not only that tells us how we might perform in the gym. Maybe we have to scale that day, maybe we have to modify that day. Like Mitch said, it's about getting good sessions in over the long run, not just day by day. But that also tells us that you might be at a greater risk for injury as well, because we know over time, if you're not recovering properly, that puts you at a greater risk for injury in the gym. Maybe you start to develop some pain or something with some of the movements, and then we have to pull back and look at your recovery, look at your sleep, what are you doing outside of the gym, and this is a really good tool to help us do that.
That's just a long-winded, brief overview of what we're doing with the Whoop. Why are we wearing it? Why are we utilizing it? You can find more information if you want to read all about their stuff. Whoop, WHOOP.com. Alan actually has a discount code, correct? Do you know it off your hand?
I do not. It's
okay.
long.
It's a long discount code. So if you're interested in it, I think you can save a few bucks per month or whatever it may be for the Whoop. So if you're interested in grabbing one, before you do, talk to Alan. He'll hook you up with a little discount code, save you a few dollars. And if you want to know more information outside or got more questions for us, please hit us up and ask. But hopefully this gets you guys started, get you an idea of what we're doing this for and why we're wearing these things and the information that we're pulling from it. So thanks for taking the time to watch, guys. We'll see you in the gym getting after it today. Take care.